Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Ms. Morgan, will you please call roll?
Chairman Lane,
Here.
Vice Chair Price, Mr. Barrett, Ms. Cheves,
Here.
Ms. Davis,
Okay, a quorum is established, and this is a full house. I don't think we've had a full house in quite some time. There you go. We're glad to be here. Okay, we do have some minutes that need approving. February 27th, 2014, May 22nd, 2014, and August 28th, 2014. Is there a motion to approve these minutes?
I motion that we approve the minutes.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, and the minutes are approved. We have one certificate of appropriateness today for an alteration to a front door and handrail at 310 Washington Street. Jackson, Thornton and Company petitioner. Are you representing them today? You are. Come on up. If you'll sign in with Ms. Morgan and then just give us a brief summary of what you intend to do, that would be great. We appreciate you coming today. And if you'll just tell us a little bit about what you're requesting, and then we'll have the opportunity to ask any questions.
Thank you. I'm Webb Smith with Pine Creek Builders. Good to see some of y'all I hadn't seen in a long time. What we're doing at Jackson Thornton, we're renovating the front door entrance, which we will actually remove the doors that are there now, the two windows on either side of it, and replace that with what you have, I think, in front of you. It'll actually be 3 units with a single door in the center. And it'll look pretty much like it looks on that plan. And then we're going to add hand railings on either side of the brick steps.
And then putting the handrails in the same area, Mr. Smith?
They'll be on either side.
Okay.
Correct. And the finish on the front doors will be mahogany, stained
Okay.
mahogany. Really look nice.
Okay. Okay, if you'll have a seat, then we'll let Mr. Duke give a staff report and then have the opportunity to ask you any questions. So don't go too far. Hello, Mr. Duke.
Hey, good afternoon. Let you know that what you're looking at this building at 310 South Washington is not considered to be a contributing or historic structure in the district. The building was built in 1993 as an infill development. The request before you as a commercial structure does not fit your guidelines especially well, but as far as defining which criteria should be used. But if you look at the commercial guidelines and look at doors, you'll see that it discusses that primary entrances should be accessible, they should be set up to accommodate, they should look like a commercial building. And in this case, what they're proposing, in my opinion, does meet your guidelines and does not detract from the district. As far as a handrail, there's let me go and tell you there's a omitted word in the staff report that should say does not detract from the district or the structure, because it does not. The handrails also are not well dealt with in your guidelines, but there's nothing here that is out of character. I suspect, based on conversations I've had with Jackson Thornton, that we'll be seeing a request for changing their sign sometime soon as well. to something that is a little closer to your guidelines. So, all in all, this is a request that I think you should grant the certificate of appropriateness. They're certainly doing a good job to stay good neighbors in the district.
Thank you, Mr. Duke. Are there any questions for Mr. Duke before he takes a seat? Thank you. Are there any questions for Mr. Webb at this time? Mr. Smith, Mr. Webb Smith. Sorry. First name basis, sort of. Okay, is there a motion to be made at this time?
I make a,
I move that we accept or approve. I move that we accept or approve his submittal.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, and the request is approved. So thank you for coming.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Duke.
Yes, ma'am. I have a small item if you have finished with that item. You should have, do they have copies of this? You should have a copy of this large printout. This is,
Mr. Duke, I was just going to tell Mr. Smith, you're welcome to leave if you... Absolutely. We'll make it quick.
at 178 East 4th Street, which is St. Mark's Episcopal Church. Yesterday, city inspectors requested that they stop work on what is essentially a repair, but the repair to the old fellowship hall there at St. Mark's involves taking down the wooden siding, and they would like to replace it with vinyl siding. Based on your guidelines, we told them we would need to consult with you. I told them it might be possible to just allow me to talk with you instead of them submitting a full application. You can see on the second page the insulation is really just put up there to cover up what they had already opened up. So I don't think that's intended to be the final application. But you can see in the first picture, this is the west end of the gable. It used to be exposed before they added the other structure, but you can see there that they've got some pretty good rot, but it's a beadboard type siding. The same is true there on the east gable. Let me go ahead and kind of finish out my presentation by telling you that your guidelines, as we've talked about several times before, deal with architectural features, okay, which arguably the detail like this could be considered to be an architectural feature, but it does not deal with siding. Okay, we've talked about that siding was along with colors was one of those things originally basically considered not that important or not that large a consideration because of the number of structures in the district that already have some type of vinyl or aluminum siding. That being said, this would be eliminating this detail on a building. Now the building, or this structure at St. Mark's, is not necessarily that old. As my understanding, it was built in the early 90s. So I need some guidance on this, if I could get it from this board, as far as how to tell them to proceed, whether to make application to you for a full hearing or to proceed as they have already started.
And so what was on there, Joel, there was siding on there, or this is wood here? Okay.
This is wood that you can see there. You can see the same detail on this.
But they're wanting to replace with vinyl.
Where is that part?
Yes,
We're,
ma'am.
we're having a hard time, Gray and I, understanding where this first picture is in conjunction with the second picture.
You basically have a small structure here.
This is what we're seeing here. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay.
This is the east gable here in this
Okay.
picture.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, I should have labeled them. This is the west gable here, which is partially covered up by this building extension
So this is facing,
west. This is facing toward the fire department, and this is facing towards the school.
thank you, thank you, Mr. Duke.
Partial gable is running parallel with the roof, isn't it? And the
Thank
siding
you.
is vertical.
Correct. I'm not sure about the contractor. We ordinarily would have caught something like this at the permit stage. They did not have a permit, but that's easily remedied. The bigger question is whether or not it needs a certificate of appropriateness to make this change. So,
I have a question.
yes, sir.
The siding that was there before was vertical. In the realm of what we decide, wouldn't we request for them to go back with a vertical siding, whether it's aluminum or not?
Yes, sir. I think that would be if you're satisfied that you're not really that worried about material as much as you are appearance, then I think that is definitely a legitimate request. I understand their argument about the wood. We got a lot of that. Frankly, you could go back with a hardy board type product that would do the same thing and have a similar appearance. So that might be an option. But at this point, I need to provide them some guidance. Reflexively, we're not going to call this maintenance because it is a change. You know, if they were taking that down and going back with the same product or a similar product, wood product, we would call that maintenance. But I need your as a board, I need some guidance as to how to move forward on this one.
Mr. Duke, the reason they were taking it down was because it needed to be replaced.
Because of the rot.
The rot. Okay.
They were probably told that if they go back with something like vinyl siding, they're not going to have a problem with it.
Right. So in that case, it is a maintenance issue if it has to be done to preserve the integrity of the building.
Right.
So, I guess the question remains. And you said that this was built when? In the 90s?
The early 90s is what the church administrator told me.
Okay.
There was,
The new parish house.
the small building was there first.
Right. This larger section that on the west end of the property was definitely added in the late 90s. As far as when the little administrative building, I'm not sure how old that is, but the administrator basically told me it was the early 90s. I think it's probably older than that.
It's older than that.
Is vertical versus horizontal any kind of historical impact? I mean, does that matter? I see a lot of horizontal wood going in the historical area. I'm ignorant about that. I don't know.
As far as the building you're looking at is not going to be. If we were dealing with the original sanctuary of St. Mark's, we would be taking a much more critical
Sure.
look because it definitely is a contributing historic structure. Even if it's a little older than the 90s, this section is not really considered to be that much contributing. The question is, whether or not willing to let folks make a change without coming before you.
Or they're going back to the vertical though, right?
No, they're basically going back with some other type of siding. I could not get a straight answer on that because I don't think the administrator necessarily knows, but he's going to have to find out.
I have another comment. It looks like there's
Microphone.
five other gables on this structure.
I couldn't tell you without going back and looking. There,
Seems to me that you should match. Basically, if the T111 is put in correctly, it's less corrected and painted correctly, it's not going to fly.
right.
The other gables have the same as that T111. My picture is that whatever they do now should match.
Just to throw out for discussion, it seems to me that we have a lot of questions and that it would be appropriate to request a petition to this commission.
Okay.
I agree, and we don't have a product selection either, as far as what they're going to go back with.
Sounds like guidance. Thank you. If you'd like, that's great. If not, I can take what I just received.
Because of the number of questions and questions that we have, information that we do not have, I make a motion that requests that the St. Mark's Episcopal Church submit a petition to this commission.
Okay, there's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, and we would like that to take place.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Duke. Okay, before we leave, everyone pull out their calendars, their phones, and we need to look at our November and December meeting dates.
Second week in November, I'll be out of town.
Okay, so we normally meet, what, the third, third, okay? Fourth, okay, which would be Thanksgiving. Okay,
I could not meet the 20th.
okay. Gray cannot meet the 13th. Is that what you just said?
Second week.
Yeah, the 13th, okay. Other than Jean, does the 20th look like an acceptable substitution date for everyone?
Ms. Langley.
Yes, I'm sorry.
That might be an issue for us because that is
For
the same
here.
date as Planning Commission.
Okay. What would you recommend, Mr. Duke?
Well, you could certainly have it that day at 4:30. You think we could?
What day is it? Thursday.
It is likely that we don't have anything on strike that. We do have.
What about a Tuesday or a Wednesday of that week? Okay.
I can't do, you're talking about Wednesday the 19th? I cannot do that, but
Okay.
that's fine. I would like to also throw out that because the Episcopal Church has started construction and now we're kind of putting a kink in that we would be open to a special called meeting, which if we do that, we may not have business to do on the scheduled meeting. But I do agree we need to schedule a meeting, but be open to that.
You could.
But you still have to have, what, 10 days?
Just 10 days.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
we could actually, you could go ahead and run it up early in the month if you'd like, and then we'll get that out there.
Okay.
In fact, I would recommend that, given that you have Thanksgiving, and the same thing for December. You may want to run it a little. If you
So as early as the 6th?
that might be a little early.
Okay. So the 13th is out for Gray.
I just won't be here. How many of y'all?
The 11th is a holiday.
The holiday, we already had to move no. We already had to move the Board of Adjustment from the 11th to the 10th.
Okay.
we
What
could
about the 12th?
Could certainly do it the 12th.
Okay. Commissioners, would the 12th be possible?
Not for me.
Not for the two of you. Okay. So we're back to if we're not going to do it the first week, the second week is out. Well, except for Friday. I don't know if that Friday, the 14th, I personally would prefer not to be here on a Friday. You're out that whole week. Okay.
What was wrong with the 20th other than I can't come? Oh, yeah,
The planning commission is not the same day, and we have no guarantee how long that meeting will run.
Okay. What about the 19th on that Wednesday?
We can certainly do that, or you could even do it on the 18th as long as you had a small agenda.
That's Miss Duke's birthday. You know that.
Yeah, I do know that.
Okay.
Everybody knows that. It's now on YouTube. She'll appreciate that. Yes, I'm very much aware of that.
Okay. So would y'all prefer to do it on Tuesday, the 18th? Okay.
Let's just give them 2 tentative dates, and then if you.
We're still talking at 4:30.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, let's aim toward that day, Tuesday the 18th, and then an alternate date of possibly the Wednesday. We've already.
The Wednesday 19th would be much better for me.
Okay. Well, let's. What about guys on this end?
I can't do the Wednesday. the
Okay.
19th, but
Okay.
I won't be heard.
We can get out of there by the time the zoning board comes in on the 20th, I think.
If we do it on the 19th.
The question is, can they be out of your way? Because they meet at 3 and they have a fairly controversial item on their.
But what they're meeting on the 20th?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we're still looking at the 19th.
We'd like to move to a working session before the.
Okay, so let's aim for the 19th. Wednesday the 19th.
So we're going with Wednesday first choice?
It seems to be the one that the most commissioners will be able to attend. Sorry, Jean. Oh, excellent. So is that okay with you, Mr. Duke, if we just determine that now?
Yes, ma'am. That's fine.
Okay. Wednesday the 19th at 4:30. And this will be a special called, but also our regular monthly.
Yes, ma'am. That'd be fine.
Okay.
So we'll let the church know that that's when they're up.
Okay. And if we can go ahead and quickly look at December.
But you don't want to come on Christmas Day.
What about Mr. Duke, the 11th of December? Who's in here on that day?
It should be no one.
Thursday. No one?
No.
Can we possibly aim toward December 11th? Okay. We'll aim for that and then see where we go from there. Is that okay? Thursday. And Ms. Morgan, you'll send out an email reminding us of this? Okay. And Ms. Cheeves, if you can check when you get home and just let us know. Okay. All right. Is there any other business we need to tend to? That was you, Greg? All right. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second? All in favor say aye. Aye. And we're adjourned. Thank you.